Welcome, guys. Today we're going to be talking about skills when it comes to history. And the big skill we're going to be learning about is how to use documents for the DBQ, or the document-based question. Remember that on the AP test at the end of the year, you're going to be asked to do a lot of stuff. You're going to be asked to do multiple choice, short answer, long essay, and this, the DBQ. And the DBQ is a beast. There's so much to do with it. But here's the good news. When you master the DBQ, you're going to find it's going to be the favorite part of the test. Now, I know, you're just like, are you kidding me? There's no favorite part of a test. Okay, relatively speaking, within a test, the DBQ is going to be your favorite. And here's why. You're being given information. The documents are not something to fear. They're your allies. So let's see how this is going to work in order to help you out. Okay, first off, I want to talk about what documents really are. You know, a lot of times students get really confused and they think that documents are like these crazy new things that you've never seen before. Documents are just evidence. That's all they are. They're evidence that are grounded because they're grounded in what people have written from the past. They're written by people who lived or who are experts. Either they're primary sources, people of that time period, or secondary sources, historians looking at that. That means that they're pieces of evidence that we can use to support the arguments that we're making. Now, we have to be careful. We can't just take documents at face value. We really have to ask the question, what was their point of view? What was the basis to their authority, and why are they making the arguments that they're making at that time period? So just a few things that you don't want to get tricked about that's really important. Keep in mind, guys, that documents are not some crazy new mystical thing that you've never seen before. In fact, I'll be quite honest, you guys know what documents are. You use them all the time. Think about in your English classes when you read a novel or some kind of book that you have to analyze. That's a document. I mean, think about it. Those books were written pretty much in the past by some kind of author, and you have to go in and analyze them for your English classes. This really is no difference. The only thing being that you're analyzing historical documents, not exactly like English documents or an English book. Okay, so how do you do that? How are we going to power up and boost our arguments? Yeah, I'm probably mixing my metaphors at this point, but hey, let's just go with it and talk about that. So let's take this source as an example. Here we have a source that deals with the conquering of the Mayan people during European exploration. Now, the big mistake is students look here first, and you don't want to do that. Don't start reading documents first. That, whether you're doing multiple choice or short answer or DBQ, you don't want to go to the document first. Why not? Because we're going to get a lot of context clues in the source itself. For one thing, we're told that this is about the Mayan people. Okay, you might be like, well, duh, but no, that's important because that tells you that you're dealing with Mesoamerica, European exploration, and you're not dealing with the Aztecs, the Incas, or Native Americans. You are dealing with the Mayans. The other thing, too, is who wrote this. Take a look because it tells you this was written by the Mayan political elite. That means we're not getting information from like commoners in the Mayan society. We're getting information from the political elite. Why does that matter? Well, you can imagine that there is a point of view there, right? There's a point of view that they have about trying to protect their power, especially when it comes to this time period, 1571 to 1604. Why? Because we know, looking at that that's about European exploration. That's about their desire for proselytization and for raw resources. And the Mayan political elite are trying to deal with that at this time period. Okay, once we've identified those context clues inside of the source, now we go and we read the document. Now, when we read the document, here's the big mistake all students make. Don't read it word for word, trying to get down every single detail, trying to get down every year, every date, every number. That's not the point. You want to look over this document and say, how could I paraphrase this? What's a concise way of doing this? Now, sometimes teachers will actually give a word count to this, and they'll say, paraphrase it in 5 to 7 words. It's not that you have to do that. It's not that you have to start counting on your hands. Here's my 5 to 7. That's going to get you in trouble. You don't want to do that. But what you do want to do is that you want to figure out how you can make this as concise as possible. So if I read this long passage, in the end, what I get off of it is that, saying Catholic priests were trying to convert people. And on top of that, a lot of people died due to disease. Okay, now, once I have that, now I've got to actually use the document for my flex. I got to make sure that I use it to support the argument I want to make. So in this case, the prompt that's being asked for this particular DBQ is to evaluate how the spread of Christianity led to the interaction of cultures in Mesoamerica in the 1600s. Okay, so here's my claim. European explorers forced proselytization, that means conversion, on native cultures in Mesoamerica, causing some synthesis of culture, but also the decimation of tribal groups. So notice there that there's a complexity to the argument. Now, where's that coming from? Well, it's coming from the evidence of the document. The Mayan political elite argued that the Catholic leaders tried to convert indigenous peoples, and that eventually led to a lot of deaths. But notice what I'm going to do here. I'm not going to take this document at face value, but this was from an elite point of view that wanted to stress how their leadership was being undermined by new cultures and diseases. So notice what I've done there. I start off by understanding the source, paraphrasing what the document is about, and then creating an argument where that evidence is used to support it. That's what you want to do with documents, to make them evidence for your arguments. Okay, go practice this out in class, and I'll see you soon.